to do. Hello, everyone. We're live right now. Today we're going to be talking about the SAG strike, also known as the actors strike, the writers strike, the actors and writers strike, or the Hollywood strike of 2023. So yeah, everyone is like striking. I've actually got the 12-page official document that they have put out for us all. Now, for those of you in the chat, there is a poll going on at the moment. Of do you support the strike, yes or no? So, hey, Brad Wolf, good to see you, man. Miss Martin Muse has left us a comment from earlier on. So, for those of you who don't know, Hollywood in America has currently ground to a halt because the writers and the actors have all gone on strike for a 12-page document of reasons that they're claiming. But one of the main reasons that they're claiming is that they want to have the background actors in movies and TV programs scanned, and then they want them to have their likeness used by the entire studio. Like, any studio could sell these background actors likenesses for as long as they want. These are one of the main reasons that they're actually protesting at the moment. So yeah, does anyone have anything to say, or will I get straight into the document?
Okay, well, what I will say right off is there are only 3 things. I read that shit.
Yeah.
And I think actors are a bunch of narcissistic psychopaths to begin with, by and large, with some exceptions. But there were 3 points in there I actually do agree with. I agree there should be better coverage, both medical, insurance, etc., for people handling animals on movie sets. I agree with that. That's one of the things they wanted. I agree that there should be no fucking way in hell that bullshit they want to pull with using people's likenesses in perpetuity, that should not fly for any fucking reason. People do the work, they get paid. That's how it should work. You want to do AI shit, do it on your own time, figure it out yourselves. You should not be using other people's likenesses without permission and royalties of some kind. That is also bullshit. Everything else they go on in it is complete horseshit, and it's just greed from people who already make more money than most of us will ever fucking see in our lives. That's all I got.
Well, and if I could add to that, they are trying to make it sound, when they talk about using their likenesses, in the backgrounds and stuff, they're trying to make it sound like, like the stock photos that come with the picture frames you buy at Walmart, that kind of thing. But there is a difference, because with today's technology, they can completely rework. I mean, your face could be anywhere without them ever paying you again.
And that is why I actually disagree with it, because them having permission or whatever contractual bullshit to use your likeness in perpetuity with no royalties means they don't have to pay extras no more. And that's all they're trying to do. They don't want to pay extras. They don't want to pay actors. It's cheap bullshit. And the other thing that one of them, and I believe it was Fran Drescher, who I think is heading this bullshit.
She is the president of SAG.
That's what I thought. And she made a point, and I agree with her, although I disagree with her on most of the other things except what I mentioned, is the executives make way too fucking much money. But the problem I have with the whole thing is they want the executives to make that much more or less money just so they can get it themselves. That's it. That's the whole motivation.
Okay. I'm going to... And this stems from what Iger said. And Iger has made a habit of opening his mouth and inserting his foot on quite...
I thought he made a career out of it.
Like, he's got it down to his freaking thigh going down his throat at this point.
Yeah.
Okay, so... But here's the thing. But they are coming at this from a... They're not phrasing the question properly. And Favre, you're right. It's because they want a cut of Iger's check or Zaslav's check. And I agree that some of these execs do make a shit ton of cash, way more than they should. And that's the proper question. But that's the proper phrasing of the question. Ask it from a capitalist standpoint: is what have they done to earn these enormous salaries?
And if you'll pardon me saying just briefly, this is one of the reasons why, if you pay attention to things that these actors say on their own, a lot of them hate the idea of meritocracy-based capitalism because they don't actually want to work for what they earn.
One of the actors who recently came out was Patton Oswalt. He's he's after joining the SAG strike, and he's like making his entire personality at this stage. Okay, so Brad Wolf says, given the quality of TV series lately, last few years, I don't support them getting more money without increasing the quality of their work. Yes, one of the actress who played Raffi in Star Trek Picard, she turned around and she said one of their biggest gripes that they're having at the moment is the 10 episode season run. Right? She says that they're like...
Is that too long?
Too short.
Oh,
yeah, they're bitching because it's not longer. They want paid more. So they want shit to drag on and on and on forever.
Okay.
Yeah, they want more money for it.
Okay, because normally a TV series, and I think a lot of us are old enough here to remember that, a TV series went 32 weeks.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was only
and that was whether it took up an hour time slot or a 30-minute time slot.
Yeah. It was only on rare occasions when something got more seasons than was projected. And we're talking rarity, stuff like the A-Team.
Friends.
Stuff that was on
Star Trek.
Friends, Star Trek. Those were exceptions. That was not the rule even back then.
Like, Star Trek traditionally ran for 7 seasons. 23 episodes, at least a season.
Right.
Like, the only one that I remember standing out in the past few years was The Orville.
Yeah.
For the episode count.
Yep.
And it's
Even though it's not really a Star Trek show. It's a Star Trek-esque show.
Yeah, but I'm
Yes,
just
Not
talking
an
about
official
episode
Star
count.
Trek show. It's just like
but
Seth MacFarlane's own
at the
version.
at the same time, you've also got series that have multiple seasons already baked in. I remember a day when it was quite a task to get a series to network because you had to do a pilot, and that had to get it approved, and then based on ratings numbers would determine if you got another season.
Yeah, because back in the day, performance was how they decided if you got another season.
And ratings mean absolutely nothing in streaming service.
Well, I am taken back to a line from the original Ghostbusters film. When,
I know the one.
When Dan Aykroyd said, "I worked in the private sector. They expect results." Now a good example. Now a good example of results gets rewards. House of the Dragon. It was only slotted for one season. After episode 1 and 2, they greenlit season 2 because it earned it, because of ratings numbers.
Star Trek Discovery actually got greenlit before each season came out. Like, which is
once again,
insane.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead, Jet Sparks.
Yeah, the only thing I can say about that show is, why is there a paraplegic in the 24th century? Shouldn't you think that shouldn't the Federation have cured like all diseases by this point?
I'd say that's a writing issue.
Oh right. Now I remember. ESG diversity stuff.
Right.
Because people who are disabled are a protected class.
Here's what I don't want.
It just makes sense.
The actors are basically joining the writers for solidarity.
Yeah.
Because
during the last writer's strike, the writers were on their own.
that and the directors.
Yeah, and that's
Were-
even in some acts.
Hold on, guy. We're gonna let Joker finish.
So when the director's
All right.
contract came up, they know that okay, we get paid on the merit, and they settled easily, easily, and there was no, there was little to no conflict in that at all. Some things the writers don't want, and I completely, or what the writers do want, they want transparency with streaming numbers and revenue share. Okay, I'm fine with that. I think that's good for all of us because we don't know how much they spend on these shows and how much the money these studios are wasting. I just heard the other day that the Secret Invasion series, which is god awful, is $212 million to make it. Where
I
does
don't doubt it.
go?
That god awful Indiana Jones movie was over 3.
Right. So I agree with I agree with the transparency. They are very heavy on the not using the AI. I'm fine with that. I think writing should be done by writers. What I disagree with is they want more writers in the writers' rooms. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. You have two, because then you have too many chiefs, not enough Indians, and you end up with She-Hulk.
And if you'll forgive me saying, that's the problem they're already having. Adding more fuel to the fire is just going to make it worse.
Right.
Yeah, like I know that the Flash, because I'm a big Flash fan, right? And I stopped.
I'm sorry.
I know it hurts. But one of the big issues that they had with the series, right, was the actors themselves. Some of them didn't want to do the physical work, like working out and everything like that, to be a runner. To run that much. Like, the actor who played Wally West, and they wanted him to come back and be like, hey, we want you to stand beside him, introduce you, be like, I am my own Flash, right?
Well, it's sorry, go ahead.
No, and the thing is, this guy bulked up too much to be able to run as much as this Sears required.
Ooh.
You were saying, Farv?
So I would say, well, in his case, it wasn't necessarily that he wasn't willing to put in the work. He just put in too much.
Yeah.
Now, the issue I have is, like, that reminds me of the entitled bullshit they had on the set of, what was it, like, the Batman with the two lead actors, actor and actress, whatever, where they didn't want to do anything.
Zoe and Robert.
Yeah, they didn't want to do crap. Dude wouldn't work out. They were screwing on the set.
Oh God.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
Okay, so that is where, and as much as I don't like to give them credit, where Marvel does that right. You sign that contract. You're basically, it is all in the contract for your run, however long your run is. You are signing up for a lifestyle change.
Yeah.
Yeah, and contractually, they kind of need to bake that in because otherwise you get shit like that.
Like,
Because
one of the things...
okay, DC, I'm telling you right now, James Gunn, we do not want to see Bouncing Boy on the screen. Okay?
Unless he really is Bouncing Boy.
No.
Now,
No,
how
I'm
many
serious.
of you
Like,
guys...
if they're gonna do a Legion of Superheroes and we got Bouncing Boy, that's fine, but it has to be in context. He has to actually be who he's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Like, okay, if you're gonna do a movie, and this is some old school X-Men shit, but let's say you want to put a movie in and you want to make the Blob one of the villains.
Yeah.
Then for fuck's sake, yes, absolutely, get a big heavy dude, you know, because that's a role meant for a motherfucker like that.
Like, how many of you guys here have watched Stargate Atlantis?
No.
Long time ago. Don't remember much.
I've seen a
Jason
few
Momoa.
episodes.
Jason Momoa pissed off the production staff. Okay? Because, so they had the character, they had him the way he looked and everything like that. Not between seasons, between episodes, which meant that they had to go in and write 15 minutes of an episode because Jason Momoa done a tribal thing for his culture, right? And he got his wrist tattooed in upside down diamonds, which meant that they had to then write in a scene where Jason Momoa meets his friends, goes off, and they had to have him get drunk and put the tattoos on him. Because he got it between episodes. Actually, NB, he cut his dreadlocks off at the end of the show because he hated the way that they made his head feel they were hurting his head and everything like that. Yeah. But, like, the production staff, they got really pissed off because that alone cost them they claimed what, 30,000-40,000 for those 15 minutes. What are you saying, Bubba?
Oh, look at Pirates of the Caribbean. Because of the Fellowship of the Ring tattoo on Orlando Bloom, they had to make an excuse to cover his arm up no matter what, even when the other arm was laid bare. Like, they had to make an excuse because he got that Fellowship of the Ring tattoo all down his freaking arm, onto his hand.
Yeah. Brad, if you're not very familiar with Jason Momoa, he is twice the size physically that he was in Stargate Atlantis. Like,
yeah,
the dude
but
has...
I guarantee you that they paid him well to get in tip-top shape for that Aquaman movie.
Oh, yeah, no, he was in tip-top shape.
And Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Yep.
He gained a lot of weight because he done a lot of like work, and one of the things he did, he required a dad bod. And he like put on a lot of weight, and they said that as soon as he finished, everyone's like, "Oh my god, he's so cute, he's so sexy. Look at him with a dad bod." Yeah, no. As soon as he stopped, he's after bulking up again. He looks like he's ripped, like with his like 6-pack of his back.
Well, because let's be real, the guy knows that that's the main thing that sells him.
Yeah. Oh yeah, NB. He got like really fucking jacked. But then we have other shows like on like Legends of Tomorrow, right?
Fuck off.
Oh yeah. Fuck that. The actors themselves left the show because they're like, okay, we're doing superhero stuff. The show got ridiculous. And the actors themselves were talking. They said like they get the thing, and they said, what was the one thing that made you like decide I'm leaving the show? All of them had the one word, and Joker, you're going to tell by his face when I say it, Bebo. This little fucking green fluffy little thing.
Yeah, it was supposed to be like a cross between Furby and Gizmo.
Yeah.
Like, it was ridiculous. But and I watched all except for the final season. Like, I watched all but the final season. But yeah, no, that show did get absolutely freaking ridiculous.
You did not disparage his name here, Favre.
Watch me. Watch me. That little fucking green hairless fucking mogwai.
I will never forgive what they did to John Constantine.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, I agree wholeheartly.
Okay,
so back to the actor strike.
Yeah, back to the actor strike. So a lot of like what I'm seeing, the people who are writing, because I follow a lot of like actors and writers as it is. One of these writers, I don't know, I forget the stuff that he wrote, but he is genuinely really angry because he said, let me open my residual check, right? He wrote a very popular episode of some show. He got like $27 for it, $32, 28 cents for another thing, and I'm like, okay, that sounds bad, but the thing is, one of the things he got like $30 for was Seinfeld.
Yeah.
and residuals are they're exactly that. Residuals are something that happens after the fact. What I hate when they complain about this is they never say how much they actually got paid for doing the work at the time.
Right, and who was it? Who was I listening to? It was on Midnight's Edge. It was a script doctor, a writer. So here we go.
Yeah.
And he had said that the way that the writers should have approached this was when the last contract stuff came up, when syndication was a hot topic. Go with that approach, but instead they were like, no, we want more money, and we want to, and with more people in the writers' room, guess what? You do less work. This is all unions want to do now. Pay more.
Okay.
Work less.
I'm going to show you this because this is actually from the SAG demands. Okay? So I'm going to go right here, this one. What did you say, Max?
I said, oh, bright light.
Yeah.
Sorry. Wage invasion due to advance payment of residuals. Limit the amount of a performer's salary that can be reduced to the advance payment of residuals instead of discussing advance payment of residuals as well as a part of the performer's initial compensation. Require transparency with a separate residual check that goes to the union.
There is one part of that I agree with.
Okay.
Because I've never been a big fucking union supporter anyway. I've seen what they fucking do to people. So that shit about the residuals going to the union, yeah, cut that shit.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That part I agree with.
They were offered increase the protective threshold figures on the contract that matches term degree with to buy Netflix in 2019, but refused the union's request for transparency with a separate residual check. Like,
so they want a separate residual check that just goes straight to the union.
Yes. So
see what I mean? It's the union. Just the union's just trying to feed themselves, not their fucking work.
So that means that, let's just say for talk's sake that I write Star Wars and I cast She Guys in it, right? Mm-hmm. That means that I would have Max is going to be the union. That means that I would have to write a check for both Joker and Max's at the same time. Am I understanding that for the same product? Like, okay, that's what they want.
Okay. So it sounds like. So I star in your film.
Yes.
You pay me. Max is the union. You're gonna write a second check for the union.
Fuck that shit.
Yeah, and here's the thing: the union always gets the bigger cut.
Yeah.
Okay, so but here's. And this is just my.
Farb, you have a question in the chat.
That is a long fucking story. I ain't getting into it right now.
But anyway, Joker, you were saying?
I'm saying that right now, and as sad as it is to say, I kind of agree with Iger on this. In the spirit of what he says, the studios have all the leverage right now, all the leverage, and they literally can wait them out.
Well, have you heard the, I don't know, Joker, this is specifically to you. Have you heard that there's a pretty popular theory going around that's looking pretty true, is that the studios are letting them continue to do this to basically hang themselves and starve them out?
Yeah, I've heard that. Like, someone...
Okay, so here's an example of this. What's to stop, let's say, Disney from...
See you later, Brad.
See you later, Brad.
For the next few months, let's release Infinity War again in the theaters.
Oh, you want to get a
and then the month after that, let's re-release Endgame. They've already been paid for. They're already done. It's pure profit now.
Oh, you want to get asses in seats. Let's release Infinity War Extended Edition.
Right.
Endgame Extended Edition.
That's been proven to work before.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, and look, if they forget Infinity War for a minute, if they were to re-release the first Avengers movie in theaters or whatever, they'd make bank like they do with the classic Star Wars or Indiana Jones movies.
Right.
If the companies who owns the Star Trek TV shows want to get
Paramount. Paramount.
If they want to get like people to view, what they could do while they have not while the writer strike's going on and they don't have anything in production, take TNG, take DS9, Voyager, right, and put where they had the models. Put in modern CGI, modern graphics, like to the level of like Discovery, and
That would
too
cost
expensive.
money. Yeah.
Yeah, they wouldn't. That'd be too expensive.
So
And honestly, if they
and
would
what you-
inevitably overdo it, it would probably sell less.
so yeah,
Yeah.
you want because the studios now have it. They have a catalog. All they have to
Mhm.
do just re-release stuff that has re-release stuff where they can get revenue from the box office or ads. That's it.
Now this one, on their demands, this one I didn't get why, like under like the screen actors, singers and dancers. They also want a relocation allowance, like drop the rules that TV and regulars who travel to other countries for work, thereby becoming residents, are not entitled to reimbursement for housing and or other expenses. Increase
Whoa. For extras for travel expenses, extras don't travel.
No, regulars.
Regulars.
They're
Yeah.
talking about extra travel expenses. They want compensation for travel.
Oh, fuck off.
No, they don't want compensation for travel. They want compensation for buying a house. They want that money back.
See, and that,
Yeah, let me explain this a little better. Basically, what they're complaining about is the same. Say you have an extended production in New Zealand, right? Y'all
Lord of the
live in the
Rings.
fucking States. So what they're wanting is some level of compensation for when they're there so damn long that they're basically living there. They're
Yeah.
claiming that they need a greater allowance of money to cover their living expenses and all that shit. But I know to some extent that's covered. So I'm kind of on the
Yeah,
fence
well-
about how accurate that is.
and that's the thing. It depends. Like the main stars we know are making all kinds of bank. But if you're somebody who shows up in maybe 4 episodes of a 13 episode season, but they're spread far enough apart, so you're over there, you're looking for other work. I can see why they would need a little bit of compensation, but no
Yeah.
more than what like per diem for for a construction worker would be or something. They don't need to. The
Everything-
problem is they're wanting to make as
Um,
much as the main stars.
And B, there is
Go ahead.
there is a housing allowance, but what they want is the reimbursement for their house back. Like if they have to buy a house in Hollywood, rent an apartment, they want that money back.
See,
Okay,
that's
you know what?
ridiculous.
I would, if I was a studio, this is what I would say. This is just me. Okay, you want all this? You want this? You want this? You want this? Okay, I want your silence.
Yeah.
Don't open your fucking mouth on don't tweet, don't Instagram.
Yeah, there
unless-
definitely needs to be a social media
Hey, Tim.
embargo on some of this shit, man.
unless it is approved by marketing.
Mm-hmm.
What they did, Universal
Let's-
has done.
And let's also bring back the morality clause.
Remember when people had morals? That was nice.
Well, I remember a time.
Even when they were faking it.
I mean, I remember when I remember the days when a writer's room was like 1 or 2 people and a pound of cocaine, and they're just railing through shit to get stuff done. Those were good days for films. I'm talking
Yeah,
about days.
I remember one of the guys was talking. He said like they were talking about DS9, right? In the writers' room of DS9, and he said that you'd have guys while you're working on the end of say episode 4, right? There's guys who are coming up in the same room as you with plots for episode 7 and 8. He said some
Okay.
guys are.
If you'll allow me, I reread.
Yeah, of course.
I reread that relocation allowance bit.
Okay.
So no, we're off the mark. Here, I'm just going to read this verbatim first. Drop the ruse.
Will
that
I show it?
television- No, you don't need to. Drop the ruse that television series regulars who travel to other states or countries for their work thereby become residents who are not entitled to reimbursement for housing and other expenses. Increase relocation allowance to sufficient levels. Basically, what they're saying here is they apparently pulled this thing where if they're in a country for X amount of time, they write it off as them becoming residents of that country and claim that they're not obligated to properly reimburse them for some of their travel and living costs. Now that's fucking shady if that is actually the case.
Yeah, that I can see their argument on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are some things that, okay, yes, these are necessary. These are good grabs. But the overall thing is, we need to be paid more. No, you don't.
Like, one of the actors of one of the shows that I'm watching, because I'm rewatching a lot of old things, Lucifer. Tom Ellis.
Good show. Until it went to Netflix. Then it got stupid.
Figures, right?
Yeah. Hold on now. One of the things I was watching about it is, but Tom Ellis is from the UK, right? He was divorced from his wife and his kids who are still in the UK, which meant that he had split custody between them, right? He was traveling back and forth from the UK to LA, where they were filming, or wherever they were filming Lucifer, because honestly, that's actually not LA. That's just the exterior shots, right? So, yeah, I get people like that, but the thing is, Karen Gillan for the MCU moved body soul completely to LA, and then when they're like, oh yeah, we're filming up in Montreal, she bought a house up in Montreal, and she's not out there bitching and complaining.
No. Well, she spent her own money on top of it. So that's the thing. It's like, this is up in the air. They should not be stranding motherfuckers out in the middle of nowhere and not paying them sufficiently to cover the expense of living in a place for weeks or months at a time.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when you demand too much, you're demanding too much. So it's kind of hard on this one to see where the gray area begins and the bullshit fucking ends.
Yep, and that's by design.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things another thing that they're demanding is hair and makeup for African American actresses who, this I kind of agree with, because they have to bring their own supplies. Like,
I hate to be this guy, but if you're especially, okay, let me put it this way. If you're going to push this diversity thing as hard as Hollywood has been, okay?
yeah.
Well, then you better fucking be willing to pony up for the extra fucking costs. Because it's a fucking fact that a lot of African American actors and actresses, you're going to send them to a normal barber, but a lot of them, their hair doesn't work the same fucking way as a fucking European actor or actress, for example. Some of them got to have specific shit done, or if you want the hair to look a certain way, they've got to have people who know how to do that specifically, like micro braids or dreadlocks, that kind of shit. You know, you can't just have anybody do that. So if you're going to push this thing where you need these actors, then, well, you kind of put yourself in that position.
What did you say, Max?
They have to have someone that's specialized to work with the texture of their hair.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else above it to be able to get it to the way that they would want it.
In my country, they're trying to get people who do the hair and makeup to go to the Afro-Caribbean School of Pharmacology in Dublin. Right? They want them to go as part of their hair and makeup course to treat like black actors and actresses' hairs and beards and things like that. Hey, Kai, good to see you, man. But one of the things, and this is what I thought was pretty fucked up. I was saying this to Maxis, and I was shocked when I heard this. Stranger Things, very popular show, right? Now, in season 2, they brought in a new female actress. Okay? They asked her to put her hands above her head, stand sideways, and arch her back. Right?
Why?
Because they wanted to make sure that her breasts were not as developed as Millie Bobby Brown's.
What the fuck?
Because she was meant to be younger than Millie Bobby Brown. This is what they
But
actually
that's normal
did.
Hollywood practice. That's normal show business. They've been doing stuff like that forever.
But that's sketchy as fuck, though. That is fucked up.
There was other ways they could have figured that out.
So was pumping starlets full of drugs to keep them going, and then, like they did with Judy Garland back in the day.
Don't pretend it was just starlets. For fuck's sake, Dennis Hopper was coked out for half of his fucking career. On purpose.
Yeah,
but they did use different drugs for guys and girls at different times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but the same actress, she was in she was in a movie, and she was going to be in a bikini shoot. And they basically told her, oh yeah, get rid of the hair down there, it'll look better in the bikini.
That's kind of a gray area thing.
It's still creepy as fuck, though.
It's creepy, but this is the nature of Hollywood.
Show business.
They have certain standards for a movie. They're usually laid out in advance. Now, this is not something I necessarily always agree with, but that's kind of the industry in general.
Yeah.
That's been out.
Yeah.
And he definitely was.
But stuff like that, where they a couple of different actresses came out and said that where they were working on. Daisy Ridley came out and said that while she was working on Star Wars and she was in the desert scene, there wasn't enough bathroom breaks for the female cast to change personal items.
That's a little stupid.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's bad. That is a legitimate complaint.
That's a good way to have somebody get a fucked up infection, and then you got to send them to the hospital.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the director.
Was that Max?
They could literally be getting poisoned by their own teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Staph infections.
Yeast infections, staph infections, all kinds of fucked up shit.
But
All manner of groovy things.
what was his name? JJ fucking Abrams. He's a swear word in the nerd community. Jar Jar fuckface. Exactly. He screamed at Daisy Ridley on her first date. Screamed in her face.
For what?
Because she was acting like a piece of wood. He called her a lamp.
Well,
I mean, on one
he's
hand,
not wrong.
he's not
He's not
wrong.
I can't
Yeah.
disagree with him on that. He's
Now, there's more professional ways to fucking address that issue,
Oh yeah.
Yes.
but I
But
would hardly
still.
call Abrams the most tried and true professional in his field either.
And the thing is, when they were saying Abrams, I wonder how much of it is his wife.
Lord only knows, given that train wreck.
Yeah. I'm just running through this on page 7. Self-taped auditions. Establish a minimum turnaround time for self-taped auditions for adults and minors, excluding holidays. They tentatively agreed to this, to a reasonable turnaround time, but refuse to exclude weekends and holidays from the turnaround time in calculation. This I kind of agree with, because the thing is, a holiday to me is not a holiday to Favre.
Yeah, well, that's accurate because different countries.
Yes.
But okay, if this is for audition purposes, yeah, I can't really disagree. Now, if you're talking about filming, you better fucking get over it because that shit goes and goes.
No, it's auditions.
Yeah.
Wait. So they want to be paid for going to an audition now?
No, they want to.
No.
I'll show it to you.
Oh yeah, bring
Okay.
it up.
Yeah. Do you want me to full screen it?
Now, the reading of it, I know how to read. I don't like to read. Everything gets jumbled and I get lost. So,
I'm the same way. Okay, so
Sure, I can
I'll-
read it if you want.
number 1.
Self-taped auditions.
Yeah, it's Article
I
1.
gotcha. Establish a minimum turnaround time for self-taped auditions for adults and minors, excluding weekends and holidays. That's not that bad because you motherfuckers don't work on a weekend half the time anyway.
Oh, okay. So they want basically a faster response.
Yeah, exactly.
Response time, positive or negative.
Exactly. And I'm okay.
Well,
with it.
Well, I mean, but isn't the negative? Isn't the usual don't call us, we'll call you thing kind of the accepted?
No, they want you to call you have to call the studio themselves, is what they're saying.
You got a comment in the chat there.
NB, I will link this to your Facebook. But yeah, give me 2 seconds, guys.
Yeah, no problem.
I mean, are they asking for anything? Are they asking for anything? Say on the quality of the couches in the audition room.
Now there is a follow up to this. Number 2.
But that doesn't happen.
No,
anymore.
Right? Of course it doesn't. Number 2 though also makes sense in a degree. 2. Disclose if an offer is out or the role has already been cast at the time self-taped auditions are requested. Okay, seriously.
Hey Matt, good to see you, man.
That's flat out. If they're not going to get the role, don't fucking dick them around. Just tell them no, you didn't get it.
Yeah, one
People
of the
got other
issues.
things to do.
I
Yeah,
would
what
say we
did
should
he-
make that we should make that legal practice for every profession.
Right.
Yes.
Because the general rule is, and I've always been, if I turn in an app or something, whatever, I follow
Yeah.
up in 2 days, a week at the most. If I don't hear back, I didn't get the gig.
Yeah, one of the things that they're also talking about is the payment times. Because some of them are late by weeks and others are late by months. One
Late?
Late.
Okay, that's a bit shifty.
Okay,
Frequently.
So it sounds like the actors want the studios to do all the work, and they basically have to do nothing. Shouldn't you, if I am negotiating a contract with a studio, a director, a project, or whatever, that's on me to get it in that contract that I get paid X amount in this time frame, in this time frame, in this time frame. And if the studio's like, well, that's not how we operate. You get paid when you get paid. Sorry, I'm out.
Mm-hmm.
That part I do agree with, but I also feel like the studio should not be allowed to be quite as lax as they are, because some people are told they're going to be paid at a certain time, and then the studio fucks off, and that can fuck up somebody's life.
Right, but that should be on the onus of the individual to demand that.
One of the things in safety that they got rejected is meal breaks. Increase to the penalty for not providing meal breaks, right? That was rejected. It has not been updated since 1961.
Okay. So,
See, and that's the thing, that they keep putting these sensible, they keep putting these sensible
they're mixing
requests.
reasonable requests with nutty shit.
Yeah, but Joker, you were saying?
I'm just so they don't get enough meal breaks. What?
Yeah, they don't get so they can make you miss a meal break because they might have to pay a small fee for making you.
According to the document, the wording here is increase the penalties for not providing meal breaks.
Yeah,
apparently at all.
Oh,
yeah, they're not talking about providing meals, just the breaks so you can go buy your own meal.
Okay, so what they're saying is this is already standard that if you miss a meal break, you get some compensation. They want more now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They also want to increase the penalties.
Fuck off! Fuck
They,
off!
this is another one they want.
No.
Oh wait, they got
No.
another one. They got a follow up to this.
Hold on. I gotta say this. In my industry, I don't have a break. I eat when I eat. I do not have a set break.
Same.
See,
Fuck
I was in
off.
the
Fuck off.
military,
Oh,
and you had an established lunchtime until you didn't.
Well,
Yep.
and plus it's this. Okay, so if this is a common practice that you get compensated if a meal break is missed. Okay, great.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of the New York strip at craft services, I now want filet mignon. I'm sorry, no.
Yeah.
Fuck yourselves.
They also
to that,
want
I agree
increased
with
penalties
Oh yeah.
for failing to allow performers sufficient rest between workdays, which
Okay,
means that
look,
they want
if you-
more days
again,
off.
The penalties already fucking exist.
So
Yeah.
all this
In
again,
fact,
all
in
this
your own
is
document,
all-
in your own document, you already addressed that the penalties already exist.
Yes, but what they're trying to say is
They
that the
want
more
penalties
money.
that were set forth, yeah, they want more money because a penalty that was set, the price was set in 1969. Well, let's face
what
it,
the fuck?
that's beans, monetarily. I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying that this is their
Well, they
argument.
also make more money than the actors in 1961 did.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah.
Now, if these compensations were a set dollar amount and that hasn't changed, okay, fine. You have a point.
that'd be different.
But I'm guessing it's a percentage.
Almost every
And-
contractual
and-
penalty thing like this
Is a
done in
percentage.
percentages.
Right, and so you want basically a bigger cut.
Yeah.
That's what most of this document is about, with rare exception of reasonable shit they threw in there at random.
Fuck off.
Yeah, that's.
Fuck off.
But that again, they keep sprinkling in their reasonable requests
Mhm.
with all of the crap, and and we can tell just by the language of the way this is written, the stuff they're prioritizing versus the stuff they put in there to look legitimate.
Yeah, like
most of the time, yeah.
one of the weirder requests I heard them actually talking about was actors speaking different languages.
Fucking what?
Okay, so
Speak the
just say
language in the script, asshole.
for talk's sake that we're doing Star Trek,
Yeah, okay.
right? If I'm doing a character and just say I'm fluent in Irish, just say, right? If I'm doing a character from we're going to say Boston, right?
Okay.
If I turn around and randomly start walking off the screen like swearing in Irish or something like that, like just muttering to myself, that doesn't make sense. But they
No,
want
they
that
don't.
actors to speak
No.
certain languages
No.
incorporate them into their
If
characters.
it's not part of the fucking role, you don't fucking do it. That's not what
Yeah.
you're being fucking paid for. If you're speaking a character who don't speak fucking like Mandarin
Whatever.
or Russian or whatever fucking language, and you start doing it on the set, that's you fucked up.
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna just the only making living wage. Okay, fuck living wages. That is a lie, because
Yeah.
who's to say what a living wage is?
Living wage compared to where? That's my question.
Right.
Well, all these
who-
most of these productions go down in either Hollywood, which is California, which is exorbitantly priced.
Not
anyway.
even all
But-
of Hollywood.
hold on,
Sorry.
Aiden, let me finish. Unless they are doing on-site shoots, which does happen a lot, and then the cost of living varies from place to place.
Okay, so
Mhm.
case in point, yes, a lot of these studios are based in Hollywood,
Mm-hmm.
but they film in Georgia, they film in Canada, they film in Prague, they film in
London.
they film in
Mhm.
London, they film in New Zealand. So I'm sure the cost of living in Prague is not the same as it is in the Hollywood Hills.
Oh,
So
hell no.
what-
The act- the actors for the Ahsoka show have all been living in the UK,
Right.
filming the Ahsoka show, which means that they're not affected by any of this because they have a lot of UK laws to deal with.
And that's
Right.
exactly why they're there.
Yeah. Like, there's one of the things that Universal did is they cut down all the trees that were there for shade, right?
That was Paramount.
Oh, Paramount? Okay.
Oh yeah,
I thought,
that was such a savage move to make. That was.
oh
savage.
yeah. But Paramount is after being fined by the city because they did not own the trees and they did not get a permit.
Whoops.
Oopsie, sorry, but
Yes, yes, but let's face it, paying those fees is going to cost a lot less than giving in to demands, and they know that. This was still a
That is-
calculated move.
Probably also true, yeah.
Another company got
except
their
for loss.
another company had, so the actors had a taco truck off to the side, right?
Yeah.
The people who owned the company in Hollywood got the taco truck removed because, and I quote, it was a violation against a certain like executive people's religion because they were serving pork products there while they were Muslim. And another complaint was that because it was elongated along the street, it was a traffic violation.
Holy Jesus, they're just nitpicking anything they can use. At this
They fucking got the truck removed, which meant
I
that
don't doubt it.
these people had no access to food or water, and they also chained up the fucking porta potties.
Oh, well, I told you they're trying to starve them out. They're playing the Outlast game. They're like, let's see how long you assholes keep this up before you give up.
Right, because again, going back to my point,
Yeah,
studios have the leverage. They're like, oh, okay, we can sit back and release a catalog of stuff while you guys bitch, piss and moan because
Well, I mean,
because you're operating you're operating right now
yeah.
without a contract. So any residuals you are getting from re-releasing this stuff, which which they have to do, you're getting a less amount. So all right, fine. We're making a shit ton more than you are.
Yeah.
well, but there's an old saying that ultimatums are always made from a position of weakness, and that's all this is an ultimatum. They know that
yeah.
they don't have the leverage.
Yeah, I
They're
need to
trying
share
gain
this.
leverage. Okay.
So this is one of their demands, right?
Okay.
Right here.
What is it? Which one? The revenue thing? I'll read it.
The revenue.
New media revenue sharing.
That's
Cast-
streaming. That's streaming.
Of course
Yeah.
it is. Casts share in the revenue generated when their performances are exhibited on streaming platforms. This would allow casts to share in the success of high-performing shows.
Okay, this is Script Doctor's argument, much the same as when the syndication was a topic for contracts. So this is basically the same argument. So just
Yeah.
handle it in a similar way.
Like, they were the actress who was talking, who played Rafi. I forget the one's name. I didn't even bother learning it.
Because she ain't worth remembering.
She turned around and she said that Star Trek Picard season 3 is highly popular.
Is it really?
It was.
Yeah, it was incredibly popular. I'm not going into reasons why because spoilers for Maxis, so no one
Yeah,
just
that's
tell what happened. But a lot of people are going back. A lot of people actually did. But a lot of people are going back rewatching Picard, which is causing the view numbers of Picard in perpetuity to increase. Which means that she's like, oh, we should actually get a lot higher cut because they said, okay, we're going to give you, let's just say, 2 million for Picard, right? And she's like, looking at how successful Picard's after becoming, people going back watching, she wants more money.
Okay, you motherfuckers got paid for your work. Let's start
Yeah.
with that. And they didn't get paid chicken scratch compared to the average motherfucker who's got to work like any of us. They got paid for their work. Now, royalties are a thing, but they're not obligated to give them increased shares of the royalties for this shit after a point. They're just getting ridiculous. They're making demands for shit.
Case in point, and I'll go back to House of the Dragon. Because of the success of the first season of that show, Game of Thrones began to chart again in the Nielsen top 10.
Yeah.
Because it got rewatched, and it got rewatched enough that the numbers started kicking up. I did not hear one member of the Game of Thrones cast.
No.
Nobody.
One of the Max, do you want me to mute you just in case? Okay. So I have family who work who are in Spain, right? And they filmed around a lot of palaces, and one of my family members works for the Twitter group for one of the palaces, right? Okay. And she said that the actors there were in full-on costume, and they're like, hey, you're not allowed to bring your phones here, but they were actually really nice. Just don't take your phone out unless it's for business, right? But the thing is, like, Matt Smith was wearing his leather dragon's outfit, right? When he had to go to, like, lunch and everything, he had what you don't see on the show, a ripcord. Right there, you rip the entire side of his suit, opens up, and he gets out of it, slips on a t-shirt, and off he goes. And all you see is maybe Matt Smith walking around in a blonde wig. Other actors should do this. Like, one of the things that they've been complaining about is, like, Benedict Cumberbatch was complaining that he had to go to Starbucks to get a coffee dressed as Doctor Strange. No, he didn't. He chose to.
Welcome to fucking Hollywood. You either take some of the costume stuff off, take the time to do that, and then come back and take the time to put the shit back on.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Time out here. On a set, don't they have things called gophers?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. Production assistants.
Yeah.
Get a coffee. Go. Coffee run now.
Yeah, just ask somebody. What were they not fast enough for him? He just decided to go.
Pretty much, but
fucking.
Wouldn't they turn around and, like, if you guys?
Okay, I do not believe that statement for 1 second.
Well, I have a secondary issue with that. They don't normally like you leaving the set in full costume anyway, because that shit's expensive.
Right.
Not to mention, it can cause spoilers for the show. Just
that
like
too,
depending on what the costume looks like at any given time.
Yeah.
So that seems bogus to me.
But I'm going to look up, like, I've never seen this image, and this image would be all over the place, memed and everything. But one of the things that I know, like, is if, like, Joker, just say for talk's sake that you were the Joker, right? Like, you're
What do you say? What do you say?
Yeah, you're full on makeup, right?
You need my normal face?
Yeah. Now, while we're on production and everything like that, right? Fire your Batman and just say I'm Rao, just for talk's sake, right? Wouldn't it make sense if I was wearing a simple costume that I could take off my cloak and, like, it's like, hey, like, Potato, you head over to, like, to Walmart, yeah. Here, I'm going to give you a list and a few bucks. Will you get me something? Like, so you would not...
Easy enough.
Yeah. Like,
because
I know
especially,
that...
like, using him as the Joker as the example...
Yeah.
You're in full makeup and costume and all this shit. They're not going to want you to leave the set, number one, because that shit takes time to put on.
And again, I have seen it because, again, I have watched films, and I've actually watched credits. Mm-hmm. Assistant to this actor. Assistant to this actor.
There you go.
Assistant to this actor. Assistant to this
director.
And that usually equates to, holy shit, I'm in full costume or suit or whatever. I can't take this shit off. Go grab me a coffee or a bottle of water or something.
Right.
Well, but take the second. Like I said, the costume. Yeah, but like I said, the costume itself can be a problem. Take, for instance, the person that got fired over releasing that image to the media in for the second Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movie, when Gwen Stacy is literally wearing the same costume she died in the comics with. Everybody knew she was going to die in that movie then. That became a massive problem. And so say you are playing the Joker, say you're wearing khaki shorts, a Cabana shirt, and and carrying a camera.
We had so much fun that day.
But again, that's the point. People would know. So they're not leaving set in costume. That does not happen.
Yeah,
like this is absolutely a lie.
Yeah, it sounds
one
like
of the things Hey John, good to see you, man. One of the things that I know that actors who can leave in costume are, if say for talk's sake, if you're going to be a big hero, right? But you show up hoodie, jeans. Right, that's the costume you're wearing. Like you're hero scouting out the situation before he reveals himself. You're literally some dude. Like when you go to Walmart, in essence, everyone would be, oh my god, it's the actor. But they wouldn't be able to say, oh my god, like there's Favre dressed up as Bruce Wayne from this comic. No, it's literally.
Here's a side issue which makes me think that this Bundersnatch thing is bullshit. There's a thing called a closed set.
Yeah.
Usually, when you're filming or about to film, they close the fucking set down and people don't leave no more.
No, one of the things that they had to, the issues, because this was like big news over this way, that they had to do in Seville, in Spain, when they were filming the palace scenes for House of the Dragon Season 2, right, is they basically said, which streets are not used? What do you mean? Which streets are not being used for anything? We want the derelict streets. We want all the streets around the palace. So they did it. They're like, okay, here. Close off. Right? Yeah. And it wasn't just fences. They put up walls. They put up security. All things like this. And, then there's all these statues and cannons from, like back in the old Imperial days.
And this is why normally a set either has one or two people designated to go get things from off the set and bring them back, or they have people there to provide it already.
Yes. And I know that what these gophers, like, they're like, a huge part, and none of the actors are arguing for these, like, people to get more money.
Of course not, because it's not them.
No. But guys, we're after going over the hour mark. Joker, my friend, do you want to go first in chilling yourself?
Sure. Hey, and thanks for having me on.
Always.
On again. Thanks again, and guys. This is a fun little talk here.
Very fun.
I am 11 subs away from 500.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
I just dropped a video this morning, talking about the 5th installment of the Secret Invasion show. If you care, because that show's awful, give it a watch. And,
at least you're honest, right?
It's god awful. Sunday I will be on with Wookie B Bad, along with Blair DeBlair and Magitech Mags. We will be talking about Oppenheimer, which I still need to go see, and I still need to go see Barbie.
Oh yeah, that's about the whole.
Now, when you're going to see Barbie, the question is, how pissed are you going to be?
Probably very.
How pissed am I going in, or how pissed am I going to be coming out?
Well, when I say pissed, how drunk are you going to be? How many bottles in?
On a scale of Sam Liu to Kate McKinnon, it's going to be pretty bad.
No, that's not the scale I use. On a scale of Russian to Irish, how drunk are you going to be?
Ooh.
Probably Russian.
Somewhere between German and... Never mind.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just going to come out. I was like, fuck you, American movie making. Fuck off.
But,
wow.
Yeah, guys, I've got Joker listed in my... if you want to go to him... Go to my main channel, just click on Potato Ribbon, and you'll see him listed underneath Friends of the Channel. I got it
And I need
listed there.
hours. I need hours.
Yeah.
I need hours.
Dude, I
Oh,
always watch
okay.
all your videos and everything like that. Like, if you want them, I'll leave it running.
It took me forever recently. My problem is I had the hours. I didn't have the subs.
So yeah, and plus I've got a lot of. If you go to my main page, you can see a lot. You can go up top and you can click on playlists, and you can just play them all and just let them run. And,
Dude, I've got a HD.
And then you can go like vacuum the house or so. That's fine.
You think I vacuum my house?
Yes, knowing you, I actually do think you do.
Yeah, I do.
All right, but I have to scoot because I got to be on another stream in about 20 minutes.
All right, man. There's
nobody.
By the way,
No water. Thank you so much.
Thank you again, guys, and toodles.
Later.
You're around, man.
JetSpark, you want to show yourself?
Jet.
Yeah,
silent
as
for
you
a
can
while.
find me
Oh,
at
there he is.
JetSparks373. Yeah, I know. I don't know. One thing I think maybe coming on is getting a little too tired.
Oh.
No worries,
yeah,
man.
You can find me. Hold on. You can find me at JetSparks373, and as a writer, I know. Given the whole problems with writers being asking, but then again, why would you want to strike even though you're basically been told to write complete utter garbage most of the time anyway? Even though there are some, even though that's like, okay, I don't know what the heck I'm saying, but otherwise, yeah, as a writer, it's just like there's major things because why wouldn't you strike when you feel like you're not getting paid, even though you're being paid to write, even though you're being told to write other garbage? But yeah, you can find me at JetSparks373. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and I think I just got registered up on Rumble. I think so.
Guys, there's JetSparks channel.
I need to start figuring out how to put my videos. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, just look through my back catalog. I'm just kind of taking a break from YouTube for the moment, but just go through my back catalog and help me get my watch hours up and whatnot.
Speaking about watch hours, Farv.
Yeah, cute. Hey, well, they call me Farv. I got a channel called Farvithian Guard. It's largely a gaming channel. We occasionally do discussions, that type of stuff on there with me and my brother. There's a couple of other people I play with on the channel. They're usually listed in my description if you get curious. I'm also the author of a fantasy novel, which I'm about close to 300 pages into the sequel of now before edits. And that is on Amazon. You can find it under the Farvithia Chronicle. There's also a link on the top of my banner on my channel to it, along with my brother's channel. And
yes.
That's about all I got for the night. We got a Terminator Resistance playthrough we're starting. And since my brother won't do it again, but it was kind of popular, I'm going to be picking up the Hogwarts thing periodically on my channel.
If you do it live, I swear I'm going to scream lore at you.
It's probably not going to be live because I'm past the live stream part, and I usually go episodically after the first episode.
Yeah, okay.
But that's it for me. Anybody else?
Yeah. Bubba?
Yeah, I am Geek Hero Bubba. If you want some real entertaining content, you can see me, go head to head with SJW Wokies all over Twitter. And it's been spectacular here recently. Y'all have a good night. And just remember, if you're going to go on strike, make sure they're going to miss you when you're gone.
Max, to finish out, can we finish out on something adorable? Can we actually see baby? Yes.
Can you
this
see
black
the cat in the darkness?
Yes. I was going to say, can we see baby Bobcat?
Americana, you can go back to your nap.
You woke a cat from a nap? Is this possible? So I'm going to just zoom this in and end the stream on this little face.
Wow. Okay.
Because for every sub we get, he gets a cookie.
Wow.
So good night, God bless, and
Wait.
what?
No. in canon, he hates desserts. So like,
Damn it, Tater! You stole my bag of cookies, and he can't even eat them.
Oh,
he would literally look at me like, "Why are you feeding me this poison? I don't even eat, motherfucker."
Oh god. So guys, thank you all for watching. So the poll results is 55% of the 11 voters we've had vote yes, they did support the strike. 45% vote no. So yeah. Good night, John. Good night, everyone. God bless. Good night. And remember, if you're going to strike, have a point.